The first punch didn't come from her fists, it came from her eyes. A single look that froze everyone in the hallway. But by then, it was already too late. The bullies had pushed the quiet girl too far, never realizing they had chosen the wrong person to mess with. Lina was the kind of student most people forgot was even there. She sat in the second to last row, always taking notes, never raising her hand unless called on. She wore her hair in a simple braid, carried the same faded backpack every day, and ate lunch alone near the library window. Her classmates assumed she was timid because she never argued, never reacted, never fought back. But Lina wasn't weak, she was observant. She noticed everything. The way people treated each other, who laughed the loudest to hide their insecurity, and who picked on others to feel powerful. The bullies, of course, never noticed her noticing. Ryan, the ringleader, was loud, confident, and cruel in a way that made people follow him out of fear, not loyalty. His friends, Mason and Drew, were shadows of him, copying his smirk, his words, his actions, as though bullying gave them a purpose. At first, they ignored Lina. She was too quiet to be interesting. But when Ryan realized she never flinched at his taunts toward others, it annoyed him. Her calmness made him feel invisible, and people like Ryan hated being invisible. It started small. A shoulder bump in the hallway, a notebook knocked from her hands, a cruel joke whispered as they passed. Lina picked her things up without a word, walked away without a glare. But bullies thrive on reactions, and her silence became their challenge. One Friday afternoon, when the hallways were buzzing with weekend energy, Ryan decided to go further. Lina was at her locker, slipping her books inside, when he snatched her backpack off the hook. "Hey, Lina," he said mockingly, "what's in here? Secrets? Snacks?" Before she could respond, Mason unzipped it and dumped the contents onto the floor: textbooks, a neatly packed lunch, and a photo of Lina with her older brother. Ryan picked up the photo. "Cute," he sneered. "Does he know you don't talk to anyone, or is he invisible too?" For the first time, Lina's eyes locked onto his, calm, unblinking. "Put it down," she said softly. Ryan smirked. "Or what?" The next moments happened so fast that everyone around froze. Ryan stepped closer, still holding the photo. Mason and Drew closed in from either side. Lina didn't back away. She adjusted her stance slightly, her feet grounding themselves in a way no one noticed, except her. When Ryan reached out to shove her shoulder, she moved. A swift pivot, a controlled grab, and his wrist was twisted behind his back before he realized what had happened. Mason lunged, but Lina sidestepped, sending him stumbling into the lockers. Drew hesitated, then charged, only to find himself flipped over her hip, landing flat on the hallway floor with a thud. Silence. Students stood frozen, their phones half raised, too stunned to even record. Lina held Ryan in a firm lock, her voice steady as she said, "I told you to put it down." Shaking, he dropped the photo. She picked it up, slid it back into her backpack, and released him. That was the last time they messed with her. But Lina didn't brag. She didn't post videos or make speeches. She simply went back to her day, calm as ever. What spread through the school wasn't just the story of what happened. It was the realization of who she really was. People began to see her differently. Not as the quiet girl they ignored, but as someone who carried a strength they couldn't measure. And for those who had once been targets of the same bullies, Lina became a symbol of hope. A week later, she joined the school's self-defense club as an instructor. Her first class was packed. Students who were tired of feeling powerless filled the room, eager to learn. She didn't start with punches or kicks. She started with words. "Being a fighter doesn't mean you're looking for a fight," she told them. "It means you know when to stand your ground. And when you do it with control, not anger." Months passed, and the culture of the school began to change. Ryan and his friends never regained their old power. They weren't exactly friends with anyone now, but they weren't feared either. Without fear, their cruelty lost its grip. As for Lina, she never became loud or flashy. She stayed the same quiet girl she had always been. Just now, people respected the silence that used to make them overlook her. On the last day of the school year, a younger student who had watched everything from the sidelines approached her. "Do you ever get scared?" the student asked. Lina smiled faintly. "Of course, everyone does. The difference is, I don't let fear decide who I am." Moral of the story: strength isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's the quiet determination to rise when no one expects you to. And when that strength finally speaks, it doesn't just defend you, It inspires everyone watching.